Hey everyone, it's Mad here, along with Goose, and today we're starting to take some nice relaxing summer vacation here, and we'd like to discuss what to expect during our summer festival here on DQ. Stay tuned. Alright, so the unit that was in JP that was assembled during this summer festival was Juliante. She is a beast. They label her as a physical attacker. I personally think she is a buff unit. Her leadership effect is increased physical power, the party's physical power by 10%. Her main skill that you're going to use is actually the middle skill. It's fire. It's basically a very huge pep up, so it might be a pep up party type name instead, um, or even puff puff. We'll see. But it's MP consumption 32. It has a range circle around it, includes herself, and increases the attack power of all units within the range for 3 turns. The really powerful portion of this effect is that she is a very fast unit, and I'll go in more detail on Should You Pull video that will probably come out in a couple of days. But she's a very fast unit, and she has the ability to speed up for the first 2 turns as well. And so she should go first, which will allow you to kind of bum rush. And in Japan, especially for the first couple of weeks, which we did not have, she was a fixture in a lot of teams because of that. And what they were doing was one-shotting the nastiest units there, and that was a good way to keep your team down to 2 or 3 turns, even if you didn't have the strongest units. Her other skills are bang-based fireworks, which is a 2-range, inflicts 95% power bang physical damage twice on one enemy. So that's about 190% power, which is actually a pretty good one for 25 MP consumption. And the last one, Dragon Swing, inflicts 240%, which is a good amount of damage to all enemies within the range. It also occasionally will stun, and it has it will do all 3 with the MP consumption of 67. So she doesn't really have a lot of really nasty MP drain abilities from her, so it's pretty good overall. Her first one is she gets bang attributes and reduced MP, so she will get more powerful bang skills. She also has first resistance at second, Zam resistance for fourth, and I know that I call Dragon Swing here, but the real full name is Summer Dragon Dance, and you can kind of go either way for that. I just called it Summer Dragon Dance for the full name. It didn't quite fit in the table, but it's the same one. It's the third line there, and you can increase the power by 5% for getting her third, and another 5% by getting her fifth. Personally, I think really the most that you need is the +1, and for a lot of her uses, you can get away with just only having Juliante. So let's go. And her A unit is a white. It is not really great. So it's a 3% chance of it does sizzle and crackle. Its main thing is it'll power up its sizzle. Honestly, its HP is 465, defense 230. At level 90, it goes up a little bit more. It's around 500 and 250, and that's with 5 hearts. It is not a unit that can take a hit. It is fast at 295 and has decent wisdom at 306. But other than that, there's no real good use for it. Its skills just aren't great. Honestly, it's a pretty easy skip for that. I mean, its awakening skills you can see there. Its leadership effect is also pretty poor. It reduces the MP consumption of undead spells by 10%. Not really all that useful. Actually, the food stall ghost, which is the bottom right, which is the farmable unit, and hard 6 was the most optimal place in Japan. I do expect there to be very hard, but in generally, it's a very small difference from hard and very hard if we do get a very hard in global. And I'll explain a little bit more of this just a little bit later. But, you know, farming either hard 6 or very hard 6, it generally stays usually the same. So I just stick with the hard 6 because it's faster. And personally, I think it's actually slightly more useful and only slightly more useful than the white overall. The summer trade-in and items. If it's a 2 to 3 week festival like it was in Japan, there wasn't a large amount. You had the Juliante tickets, 5 times 2, which is 10 total, just like what we normally see. You have the 10 iridescent iris, which is now really important with rank 6 being out. You have your iridescent orb, which is obviously incredibly rare as well. The skill was Quarry Breath. You have, which was a unique skill. You have Beast Fragments, which is the first time that we can farm those, 30 to get 100 of those sheets. And at this point, you should be getting near, if you get all 30 Beast Fragments there, you should be getting into the 60 areas for your fragments. So you'll be able to potentially start maybe getting close to getting a fragment that you might be interested in for the beast if you are. Personally, Juliante is probably the best beast I think right now. The Garyon is another good one too, but I don't have Garyon, so right now beast fragments are not something that I am incredibly interested in, but I do have a decent amount of them, especially after this summer event trade-in that I will be getting all 30. Bang and Zap, you will get those, and I believe Crackle was actually there too, if I remember correctly. That might have been a B. So you'll be able to get those books as well. So the two weapons that you can get, the first one is the Festival Fan, which you can get in episode 10 and 11. There was only hard in Japan, where in global we've got a lot of very hard now. This event was actually like the second or third event in Dragon Quest total in Japan. It was late in summer, where here it's actually, at least if you're in the northern hemisphere like me, it's actually middle of spring right now. So I would call this quote-unquote early summer, where in Japan it was at the end of August or late summer. So, as I say, it was very early in the game for them. So they didn't have very hard yet. They only had hard in episode 10 and 11. It was best to farm on hard. I think we're going to get a very hard. I think Global's going to get another week. It's going to be a slightly longer, potentially. If it's exactly the same, then that's okay too. But I'm hoping that we at least get a very hard. We'll be able to get some more gems there. And also it'll be easier to farm the Festival Fan. Otherwise, it's still just episode 10 and 11. The attack was plus 22, has physical power plus 2%, which is nice. So it's a pretty good overall general use. But for alchemy, you can get Zap physical, or Bang physical, Summer Dragon Dance power, and attack, actually. And the Yaki Corn, and I really love this weapon. And I might be reading into this too much, but to me it sounds like it's yucky corn, and it makes me think of the corn treats that you can get for during like Halloween, the fake sweet corn. And to me they're very yucky, and I just think it's kind of a play on words. But it's in this event, it was actually kind of annoying because you could only farm And it was really annoying that you couldn't farm a corn. And yes, I know. Farm. But with the corn itself, it was a pretty nice weapon. Wisdom plus 22, Zam spell power plus 4%. You can get Zam spell power, MP, and Wisdom, but you can only get it from the first time you did the battle, and both on all the boss battles for the one. And honestly, there was only another way to be able to get 15 total, so I think it was 25 to 30 rolls, and you know in alchemy that you can get some pretty poor rolls, and there wasn't a way to farm to try to get better rolls like you could do with festival fans, so Yaki corn can be incredibly yucky and turn itself into cotton corn. Alright, I promise the worst of the puns are over for the rest of the video. So, the boss battle here is Juliante for enemies. This was, as I say, very early on in JP. I expect this to be buffed. How so? Not entirely sure. If it is not buffed and is very similar to JP, then this will be a fairly simple battle for many, many players. In JP, it was Juliante and a Killer Tiger. The Killer Tiger was weak to sleep, so you can sleep the Killer Tiger first. It was important because Juliante has a skill that I call True Fascination. It was an absolutely long name skill, but we're going to call it True Fascination. It greatly increased the attack power of all of the units, which was her and the Killer Tiger, for 3 turns. And the Killer Tiger was very, very dangerous and could tear your party apart. But if you slept the Tiger, it was just you and Juliante. And at that point, Juliante didn't have that much HP. They did put her on the lower side so that you can try and take her out quickly. But for and so the goal was basically you sleep the Killer Tiger, deal with Juliante, then you quickly kill the Tiger at the end. Her other skills, she's got the 2 bang-based, Fireworks and Summer Dragon, just like what we've already talked about. Her weaknesses are Whoosh and Zap. Her strengths are Zam and Frizz. So basically what you're looking for is the units who can do sleep, and I didn't even put really the sleep monsters here as well. So you want to bring in a unit that can sleep, and the other units that you can use, Sorrow, White King, all of these will do a very good job of taking down Juliante. And so for me, it will be Sorrow and Sly and Heart that will be leading the charge for me. But if you have any one of these units that is a pretty high level, you should have a pretty easy job with Juliante. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed our little summer indulgence and to try and plan our vacation here with Juliante. I'm kind of excited. Juliante will kind of allow some teams to become more powerful in Arena, and we'll start seeing a lot more units to appear in Arena now thanks to Juliante. So she's an interesting unit. Personally, I think I'm going to go very, very light. I'm just going to hope that I can get her into tickets. What's nice is her main skills are very useful even at 0 hearts. As I say, your main goal is just to get her speeds high enough to go first, cast the buff spell, and then send everyone else out there, and you're good to go. So, if you have any questions, please ask down below. Please like and subscribe. You can also visit me at Twitch on Twitch TV/Madgarou. You can also support me on my Patreon page, patreon.com/Madgarou. Y'all have a good time. I hope you guys greatly enjoy. And excited that we're going to get a nice little summer vacation with Juliante. Good luck, everyone, and see you around.